Hello everyone, thanks for joining me again. I am AJ from Everything AJ's, and I would like to talk to you about a different way to hang the Suncatcher beaded strands. I do make the traditional Suncatchers, which hopefully you've seen in a previous video. I'll link one or two below so that you can go check them out if you're interested. What I've got here is a glass bowl, and it's got 3 little glass loops here. And I'm going to be putting these 3 onto this one design. So this is the only time you've actually seen where I repeat one design, and that's because it's got 3 for one piece. And then I have 2 others here that look similar, but they are different. All right, I'll reposition the camera so you get a super good view, and hopefully you can see all the little details and what the little loops are, because they are glass. And I am using a fishing line, so it may be a little bit complicated to visually see, so I'm going to do my best at capturing the picture for you. I've got 3 different examples, and these are nice and tiny, so they look really cute with the beaded strand on them. I am at the point where I need to make a couple of more of them, so I'm going to show you exactly how I do this. Anyways, enough
I've got a messy board. I've been doing a ton of different Suncatchers, and it was time to kind of do something a little bit different as well. And so I'm going to just strand them up really quick. Oh, I realized that it's upside down. Okay, so here we are with the pieces. I'm going to start with this one, so I'll strand these 3 first. And I'm going to just kind of put it aside while I strand them up. And I'll probably speed up this process because stranding the beads I've done several times, and the knot process I've also done several times. But I will show you how I'm tying them to these pieces because it's going to be quite intricate. And as you can see, the design actually has the same length no matter me using these or the Suncatcher balls. It's easy for me to process these that way and keep them the same. So there's my fishing line. I'm going to pull it from the box because the box will hold on to that for me. So the first thing I'm going to do before I obviously speed up the beading process is tie it on. Here is the loop on one side. And it is all the way sealed. It doesn't have an opening, so that's going to help hold the knot in place. The knot process that I do is exactly the same as the Suncatcher, a surgeon's knot. And so I do my first tie, and then I come through here and then loop it around at least 3 times. I'm not trying to catch a salmon here, which is about 8 times or so around, so I'm just trying to make sure that this stays as a good, healthy, strong knot, and I believe the 3 around is just fine. So gently I'm going to work this down, and I'm using my fingernails for the pressure. I'm not pulling this. If I just keep my fingers nice and close here and keep tugging on it, I should be able to get a real tight knot without endangering this little piece right here. Okay, I feel good with that. Get my scissors. I'm going to cut and burn the end of this line. And I was just double checking that it stayed in place by giving it a little tug. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this with a little bit of extra line on it. And I will start beading the first strand here onto my piece. Sorry about all the shuffling around. I'm just trying to make sure that I have the best access to these little beads. So the fluted bead on the tip I have changed up this time. I usually will use the white fluted bead on the tip here, and this time I've decided to use 3 small metal ones because I just figured that that was going to be a little bit more of a appropriate size for the tips of this. So before I ever go through the stranding of the whole thing, I make sure that I actually like the way that these look. And so I'll put it on and kind of hold it into place and decide if I like that look or not. So as you can see, it's just really tiny, and it does a really good job at holding the tip there right underneath its bell, so to speak. Anyways, here we go. Let's get the rest of this beaded up, and I will show you in the end how I connect the tip of them so that all three of them will connect at the very center here. All right, here we go. Okay, for now I'm just gonna put this one aside and work on finishing these two. Finish this last one up, I think that this kind of project is a good reminder of what else you can make for Valentine's Day or a birthday, anniversary. You know, there's a overwhelming amount of different things that you can say that this type of thing being handmade by yourself and given to someone else would be a good idea. You've got maybe they're a student going off to college, moving into a new home, a baby expected, so many different cool little things that you can come up with reasons to why you should just go ahead and get a little bit of supplies, put a cute little design together, and just try to make one yourself. I do encourage, obviously, people purchasing things from me as well, especially the ones that don't really care for making them themselves. They just want to go pick it up and off you go, or you're in a pinch and you need a gift all of a sudden. I make them, and I encourage people to just be creative, and you know, when you have time or have the ability to make them as well. Going through a little bit of a directional video like this of what I'm doing with a regular supply of something that I make and how I twist this same concept into other types of pieces. Here we go, the very last bead is getting put on the clamshell to help close the knot around it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this knot, press this up, and then I will show you how I'm gonna finish up the little tray there. Okay, now I'll clamp down this little shell down onto the knot, hiding it as best as possible. Now I'll take my other little curling tool and curl the tip here down. I also come back with the pliers and just give it a little bit of a pinch. I feel like that gives it an extra crimp into its shape to where perhaps it stays with a little bit more torque on it. Okay, so there's the two. I've got this has a little point of an end, so that's what makes it different. And I did the pink fluted bead on the tip of this one. It has two acrylic beads with little flowers on them. And then those are both the same, just slightly different flowers because they're hand painted. So I've also incorporated, I should say, green, white, and a couple shades of pink. So these both have similar designs, but they are different types of beads. You can kind of see as I scosh them up next to each other that we've done the exact same two patterns, but I have changed the fact that these two main beads have been what I've done to make them different, as well as the fluted tip here. This one's pink, this one's clear. Yeah, so there's those two. Now let me safely move these aside and go back to this one. Now with any of them, you could get like a little air plant. You could just cut the tip of an artificial plant off and put them in there. You could get a battery operated candle and put it in there. There's a couple different options. So I'm going to put my basic loop on the tip of each one of these. I should have done it in the beginning and I just spaced doing it. So here we go. Put this on first. And then I am going to locate a larger loop ring to connect all three of them together. And the reason I do the loops on here is because to try and get those three together on one giant one can be a little bit more tasking. So it's just making it easier if I put this smaller loop on first and now get the bigger one to connect all three. Here's my larger ringlet. And I'm going to start over here. Oh, if I can. Goodness. Okay, there's one on there. Two. And number 3. So now all of them are hanging the same length and have the same design and are ready to be connected. Either you could put a string on the tip, you could just hook it, depending on where you're hanging it and the kind of length that you're looking to get out of this. I really like how that turned out. I've made one of these before, and when I realized that I still had a second glass piece, I thought, oh my gosh, that'd be a perfect example to show you guys that perhaps you could put together. Okay, well, I hope you guys liked this video, and stay tuned because I'm always trying to come up with different things in ways that I've incorporated my beading techniques and the different ideas that I've come up with, as well as other projects. I do thrift flips and such that I enjoy doing a little bit of everything. That's just me in a nutshell. Join me again for the next video, and if you liked this one, let me know. I will link, like I said, a couple of other videos down below that are showing you exactly how I put my sun catchers together, which is the exact same process as how I did these here today. Okay, again, thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.